That's it, man. Yeah. We navigated our way through, so we're good to go now.
Awesome. Well, listen, we got a really, really exciting AMA tonight. Defy is one of the new partnerships that we announced last week, and we have two of their team members here in the chat tonight with us. So yeah, why don't we just kick this off? Can you guys like introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit more about your team?
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for having us on, guys, and super excited to be partnered with you guys at PathDAO. Love what you guys are doing and looking forward to deepening that partnership. So I'm Ben. I'm one of the co-founders of Defy, joined by Michael, who's also co-founder, and Sam as well, who I think's in the audience, and hopefully we can add him to speak as well. So yeah, Michael and I have been working together for quite some time, along with our lead developer. We founded a successful Web2 business creating mobile location-based games called District Technologies. And Sam has been a good friend of mine for many years. And there's a couple of people in the team, obviously not on the call today, but we've all sort of been involved in running businesses, building tech. The sort of common thread that runs through the whole team is that we've all been interested in and dabbling in crypto since 2017 and onwards. And so when we were building out our business, we were sort of constantly talking about crypto and Web3 and NFTs. And at the end of the last year, there was an opportunity for us to take the leap and take our experience and to build a new business, and that's what we've done. So basically, our hypothesis and our goal as a company is we want to build tech at the intersection of the virtual and physical worlds. And so our vision of the metaverse really is one in which the virtual world is overlaid in the physical world. And so the best way to do that at the moment is through mobile games and mobile apps and also augmented reality. So yeah, super excited to keep building, and there's some really cool stuff coming up that we're going to share with you guys today.
Ben, are you guys Australian? You sound Australian.
Yeah, actually, you've got three Aussies on the call today. I live in Singapore, and
okay,
Queensland.
What is it with Australia? I feel like there's so many good projects coming out of there. You obviously have the Warwicks with synthetics and alluvium and several other like huge projects that started in Australia. What is it? Is it the water?
It'll be something in the water.
I can definitely attest to the creative juices that get flowing when you're swimming in the surf. I think a large part of my creative process with this project has been spending half my workday swimming in the ocean while I think about things.
Yeah, while drunk as well, probably that might help too.
No, well, that stereotype is all lies. But no, I'm sure when we get together, we'll share a couple of beers and get the creative juices flowing even more. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's awesome to see the kind of Web3 businesses that are coming out of Australia. I completely agree with you. I think the sort of the Web2 world. Obviously, there's a couple of standouts of amazing companies that have been built in Australia. And Canva and a couple of others, but really, there was no sort of Silicon Valley of Australia. But that's definitely changed with Web3. So I don't know what it is, to be honest, but yeah, I'm stoked to see it, and I think it's a really good development.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
Well, we love cycling, and you guys have some amazing cyclists as well.
There you go. I think you've got three non-cyclists here, so not too much knowledge on that side to share with you.
Yeah, well, it's either land or water. So, Michael and Sam, you guys want to tell us a little bit more about yourselves?
Yeah, I'll jump in first. So, yeah, as Ben mentioned, I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at Defy. I've been working with Ben on some previous Web2 businesses for about 5 years now. Have a really big passion for the intersection between mobile apps, gamification, and fitness. And that's sort of what we've been doing for a long time. And we see Defy and Web3 as sort of the next iteration and evolution of that. There's so many exciting applications for this technology in this space, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. So from my background, I've been working sort of in the IT and computer science industry for 10 plus years, for a number of large corporates, and then doing my own thing for a long time as well. And we've built a team up around us of very talented mobile engineers and server engineers that'll, I think, allow us to develop something that'll blow everyone away in terms of the quality and polish that comes out of our team.
Yeah, I mean, hard to follow you, Michael, with all those attributes, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, in a previous life, I was a DJ for a long time, and I've been in crypto for about 5 years, a bit over 5 years now. And the play to earn space for probably over a year and a half, just about when it first sort of started out. And just doing my thing on social media. And I've known Ben for several years in the DJ scene with events, and had this opportunity, and I looked into it, and it was pretty much a no-brainer. I've worked with Ben in the past, and everything he does turns to gold. So once I looked into the project, it all made sense to jump on board.
I think Sam's being a little bit modest there, to be honest. Sam, I'd say, is, I mean, to look at what Sam's done with, his influence in the play to earn space, and obviously getting on board with C super early, both as a player, but then also, with his scholars as well. Yeah, when we launched into this space, getting Sam on board was super important to have someone who had that experience. So yeah, that's a good team.
A cool team. Also, I'm googling DJ Sam Withers right now.
He's a pretty cool dude. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll jump in. Like, do you guys want to tell us more about like the story behind DeFi and obviously mega corporation future systems? Give us the story.
Yeah, for sure. And so, look, when we started building out this game, we wanted to build something that was really unique. So building mobile games is something of a passion for us, but we also think it's the next big frontier for play-to-earn games. That is the way that we're going to onboard millions of new players into this space beyond the sort of the regular Web3 natives. And so we started looking at kind of world events and looking at what's happening in the real world and taking some inspiration from that. All of us are kind of nerds for stuff like Mr. Robot, The Matrix, Watch Dogs, and those sort of hacking stories. And so yeah, we wanted to really sort of tap into what's going on in the real world. I mean, everyone knows that there are sort of efforts by big tech companies to try and sort of corporatize the metaverse. Not mentioning any names, but and that's something that we kind of see as pretty dystopian. And so, when we partnered with Animoca, one of the reasons that we did was because they have this vision of an open and interoperable metaverse. And so, yeah, we started to tap into that, and we built out this narrative where it's set in a near future dystopia, maybe 30 to 50 years in the future. And essentially, everyone's lives have become dominated by future systems, which is the corporate metaverse. And in order to basically live, you need to do everything through their metaverse, whether it's education or finance or any of those other things. It all goes through future systems in the metaverse. And that is obviously people's independence, their privacy. Generally, it's just a pretty bad outcome for society. And the guys, Michael, maybe can even drop in the little chaos backstory video into your AMA chat channel as well, so people can check that out as we go through. But and then so the story is that there's an inside man at Future Systems. His name is Chaos, and he's a systems administrator. So he's a techie at Future Systems. And he starts this revolutionary movement called Defy. And what he does is essentially creates a backdoor for people to hack into the Future Systems metaverse and to take them down. And so the way that works is you need a virtual private mask, which is an NFT mask, and that basically allows you to conceal your identity from future systems, look into their metaverse via this door, and then go out and actually the future systems towers and steal their future systems coin from them. So yeah, it's like a revolution of the people from the ground up, led by chaos. And the way that we take down future systems is by going out and stealing their currency. Michael, anything to add on the narrative? You were obviously a big part of building that up, mate. Michael, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sorry, I was just finding the unmute button because I was dropping the link in the other channel. Yeah, I think there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn with the direction that society is headed at the moment. And that's why we find this story really compelling and very, it sort of draws you in because it really feels like it's not just something that's sci-fi and futuristic and well off in the future, but something that we could actually be heading towards. And so while this is a story that we think is going to be really fun to see how it plays out and have a really great hook to it, we actually think there's also some good that can come of it in terms of raising awareness of where this technology is headed. And we're really keen to use this almost as a platform to open people's eyes to the potential problems of the centralization of some of these larger Web2 platforms as well. So while Future Systems is a fictional organization, I'm sure you guys will be able to draw many parallels to some real life existing companies that are headed in this direction.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so talking a little bit more about the megacorp Future Systems. Like you got like players are gonna be operatives trying to take down this megacorp with two distinct types of attacks, like hacking attacks. Like, could you tell us a little bit more about how this works?
Yeah, for sure. So as Ben mentioned, the sort of goal of this Defy organization that's being created by Chaos is to try and take down Future Systems. And as with any large organization, they're sort of the place that you can hit them where it hurts most is in their wallet or in their pocket. And so as Defy operatives, we're effectively trying to destabilize and destroy the economy around their centralized currency, which is the in-game currency called Fcoin. So the way that takes place is players will be actually exploring the real world and using a metaverse overlay that they can access through our app, locating and scanning for the cell tower network nodes that you'll be able to see, which is where their network operates, similar to our phone cell towers at the moment. And these will be live all around the world from day one, so that it's not just in particular regions, but it's global from day one. You are effectively finding these towers and then performing a series of hacks, which requires you to do an AR experience where you're actually going to be finding these towers and shooting down various elements of the towers. And we'll share some early prototype content in the chat shortly. And then by solving some of the puzzles that are attached to that, which will be hacking mini games, you'll then be able to discern the location of some of these decentralized Fcoin wallets within that cell. And so you're then racing against the Future Systems defense drones to collect these wallets before they're able to secure them again. So there's a high adrenaline sort of moment there where you're chasing these wallets down while being chased by the Future Systems drones.
Yeah, and then to add on to that as well, Michael, I think there's kind of these two distinct gameplay modes, and like we've been building location-based games for a long time, and one of the things that we realize is there is kind of a barrier to entry to going out and exploring the real world. It's a super fun experience, and it's really central to the game. But we also wanted to create more of a hyper-casual gameplay mode that goes along with it as well. So I'll pick up where you left off, Michael. Once you're going out and you're taking part in this this experience of going out and hacking the towers and collecting the wallets actually need to be decrypted, and that decryption process is done through kind of hyper casual style code breaking and learn to earn experience as well. And so this is a really important part of the gameplay where we've got different gameplay modes for different types of gamers. But we also have this very sort of collaborative experience as well, where you could actually be trading wallets to be decrypted. You can be sort of outsourcing that decryption work to other members of the community. And so it creates this environment where you've got operatives taking on different roles, and you've also got operatives essentially communicating with each other and working together on these tasks. So we think that those two gameplay modes together creates a really compelling and really sort of long-lasting gameplay that's going to bring in a lot of different gamers and a lot of different people from different walks of life as well.
I love all the backstory here, especially, you know, just in the sense that, yeah, like this is a future, you know, world in the same sense. There's definitely like a relevance to the, you know, the world that we're living in right now. You talked a little bit about F-Coin, right? So players are operatives, you know, not just gamers, but they're the operatives in this right? Can you just tell us more about like F-Coin, and then also just go into a little bit about like your DeFi token as well?
Mm-hmm. Michael, do you want to take this one?
Sure, certainly can. So as we mentioned, F-Coin is this centralized currency that's controlled by future systems. And so within the game, your purpose as an operative is to try and collect as much of this F-Coin as you can to try and remove it and effectively destroy the liquidity of future systems currency itself. And by pledging that currency to the Defy organization, Chaos rewards you with a Defy token, which is our cryptographic token. And that's effectively your way of earning through the game, is by pledging or burning these F-Coins to remove them from circulation, trying to destabilize their economy, and being rewarded with this Defy token, which is effectively the one that you're trying to replace F-Coins with. Ben, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, and so this I saw this question comes a little bit later as well, Don. But one of the things that most people probably be aware of is integrating a crypto token into a mobile app. At the moment is somewhat challenging, not from a technological perspective, but from the perspective of making those apps available on the app stores. And so this is our way of creating a dual currency system. Our dual currency system is pretty innovative and quite different from other play-to-earn games out there in the market. For one, we have a pretty interesting system of how the tokens are actually converted between F-Coin and Defy, which is potentially a little bit too complex for the call today. But suffice to say, it's essentially like a daily rewards pool, which is distributed on a pro-rata basis via a web platform. And the other thing about our sort of in-game currency that we're doing is really providing an opportunity to use that to level up in-game NFT assets as well. And so one of the things when we look at our play-to-earn model is we want sort of many more sort of inputs and outputs. And so we want the ability for people to be able to spend their in-game currency on leveling up their NFT assets, which then can be sold on the secondary market as well. And so that's another way that people can earn through the game. We are also launching a creators platform as well. This comes later towards the end of 2022, but this is going to give people the ability to actually make proposals to mint their own NFTs within the different universe as well. So, for example, if someone wants to create a team or create a faction, they'll actually have the ability to do an NFT mint on the Defy platform. So I know I'm sort of straying off from the original question there, but I think the reason I'm saying this is we want to make sure that the F-Coin, the in-game currency, doesn't get devalued in a really aggressive way. And so making sure that we have lots of inputs and outputs for the economy beyond just swapping your F-Coin for Defy tokens is super important to make sure that play to earn aspect for the players is really sort of long lasting and rewarding.
No, that's a big thing. And you can see just in the plan like how much thought has really gone into that. Obviously there's, other games out there with like the dual token system, but Ben, just as you just hit on, like creating that an in-game token that actually has that utility and all that different stuff is super important. So it's really refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like one of the things that we also try and do is just talk to lots of different people, talk to lots of smart people, and there's so many great minds in the space at the moment. And so, rather than kind of taking the approach of we know it all, it's really been trying to like take on a little bit of a learning process and just learn from the other games that are out there, but some of the advisors and some of the other sort of individuals out there in the space as well. So it's a work in progress, but I think, if you understand what the problem is, then you can work towards solving it and making sure that it's a good platform.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a lot of like cool things going on. Obviously the backstory I love. I'm already obsessed with it, but it's just also refreshing. Like you don't have one unique thing. Like you guys have like a whole list of unique things going on, and then like obviously the investment team from PathDAO I think noticed that from the beginning, and that really sets you guys apart from in the GameFi space.
Yeah, nice.
So moving back to inspiration, you touched on that a little bit for like the real world inspiration for hacking and all that stuff. But what about like game wise? Like what kind of games did you guys play, and did any of those kind of inspire any aspects of this?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, you go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say our team, since we have a number of people in our team that are quite into this concept and theme, we've had quite a lot of different influences that you'll probably recognize are all sort of meshing together, and then our own creative spin on it. A lot of our team members really love the hacking elements of Watchdog, for example. That's something that we find really compelling and everybody seems to really enjoy. I myself grew up playing, there's some old hacking games from back in the early 2000s called Uplink and Hacker Evolution. I was obsessed with those ones growing up, and that feeling of being part of an underground hacking organization was something that I really loved. And then another really big inspiration for us more on the law side of things is the TV show Mr. Robot is something that we all are obsessed with in our team. Just because it feels so close to home, but also I just think it does that whole story really well. If you guys haven't watched Mr. Robot, I would highly recommend it. Any other references from your side, Ben?
Well, the other one that we keep talking about all the time recently, man, is Grand Theft Auto. Because one of the, like, when we build this IRL experience, like so much of it is actually inspired by, wasted youth and playing GTA. And so like when you're actually going out and you're hacking these future systems towers, your wanted level goes up, and you've got these, in the same way that the police are going to start to chase you in GTA, you've got the future systems drones who are starting to sort of converge on your location. So pretty varied, but yeah, GTA is definitely one that we've been talking about a lot.
And also on the GTA, something that I think a lot of people love about it is how open world it is, and the fact that it's not a linear gameplay where you're doing a particular set of sort of scripted actions and narrative. It's actually something that you get to choose your own path and direction. And that's something that we're pushing really hard for our in real life experience, is as you're actually out and exploring, we're not really guiding your experience. It's up to you how you want to contribute to the organization and how you want to actually partake in those actions.
Sorry, I think I cut out there just for a second, but like I was kind of saying this before about like the unique elements like behind DeFi. Augmented reality, you guys are the first ones doing this, right? Geo-based activities, like for sure. Can you kind of expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think Michael's dropped some stuff into the chat channel as well that people can go and have a look at. A couple of different things. Like I mentioned, our sort of vision of the metaverse is this virtual and physical overlay. And so at the moment, is the best way of doing that. The form factor of using a mobile phone for AR is not perfect, but fast approaching the time when things like spectacles and Google Glasses are gonna hit that stage where they're really usable and really really functional. And so we are really obsessed with this idea of creating customizable virtual spaces. This is the first piece that we're creating using AR. And so I think Michael's just dropped it into the AMA chat channel as well, where you can see basically like these location-based AR portals. And in the game lore, that's basically wrapped up as your drone hangar. And so one of the things that you can do in the game is actually build your own drone. The drone becomes like your companion or your pet, and you can basically train it, and you can code to basically get it to go out and perform tasks for you. In future, we're going to have PvP drone battling as well. But for the moment, you'll have essentially this virtual portal space that you'll be able to customize things like music, things like that. You'll be able to hang your NFTs in there and stuff like that as well. So that's one piece I'm super excited about. Michael, do you want to talk a little bit about the AR hacking experience of the towers, and then maybe like the drone chases as well?
Yeah, of course. So I've shared some examples of what that looks like in the AMA chat. We all saw how popular the AR side of things for Pokemon Go was. It was something that really captured everyone's imagination because it makes it go from just being something you're looking at on your screen to having that connection to the real world. Something that I think is really, really awesome about AR experiences tied to geolocation is they're very shareable. So as you're out performing these actions and doing this hacking, it's actually something that you'll be able to capture within the app to share around as well. Sort of like how we see in a bunch of games at the moment where you can do your screen recording and screen sharing, and there's little snippets of these things. AR is a really compelling way of sharing that experience, and we think it's going to make the game be really easy to grasp for people who aren't yet in it. But also from an experience perspective, I think AR tied to real physical geolocations is really going to be the future of this space. Obviously, at the moment, we're tied to a phone screen and a camera view, but as Ben mentioned, AR glasses, I believe, are going to be the next tech frontier. In the same way that the iPhone disrupted the tech space in 2007, 2008, I think the next large paradigm shift will be when we end up with ubiquitous AR glasses. And that's something that's most tech companies in that large space are working on right now. And so while this is where our game is right now, we're not in this for a short-term pump and dump and rug pull. We're trying to build a long, sustainable game here. So we're already thinking about and building prototypes on things like the Snapchat AR spectacles. We've got some of them in our team and working on some of the other AR headsets so that we're ready on day one when those are more widespread for people to be able to experience our game in AR using that glasses experience as well.
I love the forward thinking. I mean, really, you guys, this is such a cool AMA because we're like, I was intrigued by what you guys are doing before this, but hearing the thoughts on this, it's really cool. Future Systems is definitely like on the AR game. So to hear you guys are really thinking on that, it's awesome.
That's a cool narrative piece, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, like
you got to keep ahead of them, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what about like the difficulties around integrating crypto into like consumer apps, like within the Apple Store or Google Play? Like, how are you guys navigating that whole space?
Yeah, it's a really great question. Obviously, this is something where all of the rules and regulations from the platforms are evolving constantly. So it's part of my role in the team. I basically check all of the updates to the App Store review process and all those sorts of things almost on a daily basis because this stuff is changing so rapidly. But we've come up with a way that allows us to proceed with where it's at for now, with the option of down the line, as these rules and regulations evolve, adjusting that to bring more of the crypto into the app. For now, we're still able to have your mobile app account linked to a crypto wallet. We can't necessarily do much more beyond that in terms of the trading and the earning of these currencies and stuff directly within the app experience. So we'll be having a web platform from day one that does all of the stuff that we can't do necessarily within the app in a seamless way with a shared account system. But one of the things that we can do is we can directly read from the crypto chain on the app. We just can't do necessarily some of the transactions from within the app. So as you purchase these NFTs, if they're airdropped to you as they're evolving and changing, that will be immediately reflected within the app. And as you do any transactions on various open trading platforms like OpenSea or anything like that, that will immediately update to your account because your account will be inherently linked with your wallet. So we're effectively doing the deepest integration that's possible for now, and then providing really seamless workarounds for the few things we can't do, with the intention as the regulations change to bring more and more of that into the app as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's like such an interesting aspect of like the app store of any game on the app store. Like currently, you have like gotcha boxes and like, there certain apps and games that come under fire for like gambling aspects. And then when you bring crypto in, it's like, oh, well, you can own those assets. So now I don't know, it's like a whole nother thing. And what do you see like Apple and Google and these big stores, like how do you see them like pivoting to allow that kind of stuff, or are they at all, or are they making any progress that you guys see?
Yeah, they're moving towards it. I think the biggest problem that Apple and Google are trying to protect against with all these regulations is, for better or for worse, they love to try and get their clip of every transaction done through their platform. So Apple having their in-app purchases and those sorts of things. And that's their biggest problem at the moment is crypto provides a way for you to bypass their 15 to 30% cut that they get on any transaction. So I'm sure we'll see over the next little while ways that Apple will try and insert their percentage cut in any of those purchases, or try and find ways to prevent you from doing that. There are ways around it and things that we'll be doing to try and keep the ecosystem as much as possible away from Apple taking those cuts. But there, I think, will be some areas where we'll have to cave to their rules in terms of that you providing effectively an easier on-ramp for our mobile players so that they don't have to necessarily go through the web platform where there'll be cuts taken by Apple for some of these things as well. We're still figuring out the economics of that, but that's sort of, I think, where the direction will be headed.
Hey, well, when you guys, when you come to San Francisco, Floppy and I are both based in San Francisco. So when you come here to talk with Apple and Google face to face, we'll hook you up with our friends who are surfers, and we'll definitely link up to grab a beer.
Looking forward to it.
Sounds amazing. Let's do it.
Yep.
So we're talking obviously all about DeFi, the game. Where is it now, like in the development?
Yeah, so we're very, very deep in the actual internal development process right now. We have early versions that our team are already working on, that our team are testing and playing in the real world. I've shared some screenshots already in the AMA chat channel as well. We're finalizing some of our designs. We're working with a really great designer that we have a good relationship with. And we're targeting towards the end of Q1, having an alpha that will be available for our Discord members, and that will be rolled out over a period of a few weeks. And that's something that will be ready within the next month or so, ready for people to start playing and using. And that will be, I guess, the first chapter of our gameplay experience. And then over the following months after that, we'll be moving towards our on-chain launch, which will be coming in a few months after that as well. But we've got a lot of moving pieces happening right now and stuff happening concurrently with our AR content being developed right now. We're getting updates daily on that as well. Our mobile app, obviously, and then a bunch of our other web platforms are in progress. So lots of things happening.
Yeah, as well as the mint coming up on March 26th. What Can you tell us so each NFT comes with some Defy token, and
Yeah.
like tell us how that works. Like how much is divvied out to each token? Is it based on like rarity of traits or what? Can you kind of like fill us in a little bit on that?
Yeah, exactly. So the number of tokens is essentially a new trait, another layer to the generative NFTs. So yeah, we wanted to do something a little bit different. So these tokens are actually going to be emitted based on completing certain actions within the game. So let's say you mint an NFT on the 26th of March, you get your virtual private mask, and it comes with let's say 10 DeFi tokens attached. So those tokens will be emitted on a sort of graduated scale as you download the game and connect your mask, as you go out and hack a tower, you complete an encryption task, from home. And by that way, it's a reward for people to actually download the game and to play. So the NFT obviously has utility within the game. It can also gets released as people sort of join the community and really start to play as well. So it's something one of our advisors is and investors, part of the Phantom Galaxies team. They're doing something similar with their planets, and that was definitely an inspiration for us. And so, yeah, we thought it was a great way to reward people who mint one of our Genesis NFTs. It's also a great way to make sure that the emission of that value is actually linked to playing the game and becoming active within the community.
It's really cool. I know
Yeah.
Floppy's like licking his lips right now. So it's not based on like a rarity that you receive off of the mint. It's based on like your participation like in the game immediately after minting.
So it's a combination of both. So each mask will have a different number of tokens attached to them based on rarity, and then you unlock those by performing actions in the game. So some of the rare masks will have a larger number of tokens that you can unlock over a period of time, and some of the more common ones will have less. So there's both elements attached to that.
That's really cool, Michael. So, but you can't it's not like you have to participate to unlock.
Exactly. So we're really pushing really hard for people who hold our token not to be people that are just in it for pumping and dumping it, but people who are in it for the long run, because that's really going to be the best for the health of our token long term. And so we think the best way to get these tokens into the hands of those sorts of people is to tie it to the people that are actually really engaged in the game and the platform, rather than people that are just in it to try and make a quick buck by buying and selling it.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
mean,
Love
no,
it.
you guys have put a lot of thought into it. It's cool, and it's like people that are investing in project like this, like, hey, I got $1,000. Do I buy the NFT or do I buy the coin? And you guys are like offering both, which is really cool.
Well, and I mean, Floppy, like obviously, if you're interested in the game, it sounds like you got to go for the. I mean, I guess I asked your feedback, but it sounds like you go for the NFT because, like, hey, I hate to say it, but if you're investing in games, right? Like, invest in something that you can like participate in, and then like increase, your whether it's your profitability or your position that you're going to hold long term. I mean, it's such a it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, I like this concept. It's different. Yeah.
And another big thing that's very important to us from an economical perspective is that the primary driver of people using this game in the long run should not be for them to earn directly out of it and remove value from the system. Where a lot of the play to earn games that are coming out at the moment, that's sort of how they're pushing people and getting them on in quick bursts. But then we're seeing them drop off very quickly as they sort of hit that saturation point, because people aren't playing the game because it's fun. They're playing it to earn money. And as soon as that stops being something that's feasible for them, they leave. So for us, it's really important that the game is actually incredibly fun and people play it for that intrinsic value. And the earning is a really great side benefit that comes along with that. That's another thing that will allow us to survive the long haul, I guess.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No,
There's kind of like a singularity happening with like crypto gaming where it's like, when the games get fun enough to play regardless of the earning, that's when like crypto gaming will take over the whole thing.
That's the magic.
Because
Well,
this is something that we've seen small amounts of previously on Web 2 games like Counter-Strike, for example, where you can actually earn in Counter-Strike through the chests and the unlocks that you get with things like gun skins. I know my brothers played that a lot, and they did a lot of trading of skins for cents on the dollar sort of thing back in the day. But obviously, the primary driver of that game is that it's really fun and addicting. And that earning element is just an added little piece of icing on top. And that's the approach that we're going for rather than the earn being the main reason.
Well, also, I think we've experienced as a guild and some projects that we got in early on. Just to be honestly and just direct, like there's problems with bots in a lot of these games, right? And if the game is literally just a click and then it's like you're going to a gambling machine just clicking and what do you get? That's not sustainable whatsoever. And so it seems really like the way that you guys have from not only the F coin but to the DeFi token, actually the F coin in game, right? The thinking behind that is awesome. But like we're talking about now with the minting, everyone's going to get 10 DeFi tokens. The question is what's the rarity on what you're getting? And then, hey, you got to participate to unlock that. And we're not talking about participating for an hour. You got to engage and get into it. So I can really see this is something that our gamers are going to be really into. And just the geo-based activities, augmented reality. Last night we did a happy hour. We had a great happy hour with one of our head community managers, Tobes, and Tobes is a big Pokemon guy, right? And so I can see a lot of our gamers being really into this.
Oh man, we've got a couple of Pokemon geeks in our team as well. Tom, who lives in London and couldn't join us as well, is a little bit too into Pokemon for a man in his 30s. But
he loves to say it's for his kids, but it's actually him.
Yeah.
is that why you didn't join us tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
He's playing now.
Yeah, we don't let him out in public.
We lost Sam, but I wanted to ask him about the music. Is he doing some of the music in the game?
That's a great question. Actually, we have a couple of musicians in our team, because Sam actually, beyond being a DJ, has also produced a bunch of music as well. And then another guy in our team who's sort of a visual artist has created some original music for it as well. So Sam hasn't created any original music for the game yet, but that's something that definitely is pretty interesting to look into.
You got to ping it. You got to ping him and see if he can come back in the call. Maybe at the end, we'll ask him some questions and we'll put him on the spot for you guys. Yeah, we'll put him on the spot for you guys and tell him we're expecting him to do some cool mashups for the game.
Nice, sounds good.
I mean, something that we could have him host his own DJ event inside of his AR drone hangar where everybody joins and Sam's DJing from the back of his hangar.
I love it. I'll be there. As we're talking about the minting, obviously the artwork is awesome. It really stands out. Can you talk a little bit more about the artwork, the artist behind this? Just expand on it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We could even sort of provide some links to his social media so that everyone can go and check him out. He's actually a guy I've known for years. He's a Singaporean graffiti artist called Pure Libre. When I was doing events previously, and he was doing live art sort of creation at music festivals and stuff like that. So I've actually known the guy for years. He's got a super unique style. And when we launched the project, we went straight to him and sort of asked him to basically just kind of go nuts. We're not going to give you much creative direction. Just come up with something and see what comes out. And we're stoked with how it's developed. I think it's super unique. The thing with our art as well is we kind of want to leave open the opportunity to go in different directions as well. So as we do different sets of NFT masks, we may do, another set which kind of is inspired by this, or we might even go a completely different direction as well. But we're stoked with how this first set turned out.
Yeah, I definitely feel that like street art element to it. And for everyone who's listening tonight, it's super cool how like DeFi's mixing it up like all the time, like with the art on their outlets. So, you see some of these games and it's like, okay, we got our logo. Like DeFi is exactly the opposite, right? Like I think, they put something up and then like, they assume Future Systems is tracking that logo. And then before you know it, like changing it up. So it's super cool.
That's a really great observation. Yeah, you go, Ben.
Yeah. No,
I just want to quickly flag that I have to drop off in about 1 minute as well. But it's been really great having this time with everybody. And if there's any further questions, I'll be hanging around in the Discord shortly as well.
Well, Michael, we're gonna have you back again. Like this is an awesome convo tonight, and like we're not checking back in 5 months. Like we wanna, maybe we'll even do something around the mint. That'd be cool, like some sort of like mint type event or something. Because you guys got a really cool project going on, and PathDAO definitely wants to support it.
Sure, man. Thanks, Michael. So one of the things when we were creating Defy is we resisted the urge to create a brand. Defy is literally the opposite of a brand. And if you think about a revolutionary organization, they don't have a logo. They have a name, and then they have lots of different interpretations of that logo or of that name. And so the idea for us is when we create visuals around Defy, we want it to be like revolutionary art. So imagine if you've got this decentralized organization of people who are fighting back against future systems. You're going to get the community to basically create posters or that sort of stuff. And so the idea is it's fluid. It's got lots of different interpretations, and you'll see sort of that graffiti and that street art inspiration for sure. But it should be like evolving and changing all the time, as you guys pointed out.
Yeah. So, all right. So, do you have to hop off now?
No, I'm good. Yeah, Michael.
Oh, sorry.
Michael, hop off. I'm here. I'm good to go, guys.
Okay, cool.
Michael went surfing.
He went surfing. He went to the bar, and then went surfing. All right, so we got just a couple more questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of them I'm curious sort of about like the development timeline and launch of Defy. Like we obviously have the mint coming up this month, but and how sort of the overall market influences the volatility that we've seen in the market, how that might affect progress that you're making. But could you give us a little bit like sort of about the timeline in general?
Look, I mean, the market is the market. We try not to look at it too much. I mean, from our point of view, we're really fortunate. We've got some great investors and some great partners who we have on board. So, we really sort of have all the funds we need at this stage to develop out a really, really awesome game. And so our focus is just on building the game, building the community at the moment. So I think, we're in a pretty good spot to sort of ride out any choppiness in the market. We just try and sort of ignore it and get on with it. So, definitely. I think like people probably, there's a little bit less enthusiasm around jumping on board with new projects. But I think ultimately, if people think that we're a blue chip or, the cream rises to the top, then we'll still be successful there. So, going ahead with March 26th. And later in April, we'll be launching our token as well. So token launch date and the platforms that we're launching on, it's still TBC. But we'll definitely keep you guys informed as those plans come together.
Nice. Good to hear it.
Yeah, and Yeah, and we'll be working to really help promote the project too. I mean, obviously we're learning a lot more about you guys tonight, getting a chance to talk for the first time, and I for one, like, I'm so excited about this stuff. We'll be talking a lot more
Nice.
about this in our communities, in our community channels. We're all over the world, right? So, I'm looking in the crowd right now, and we got community managers from Ang we talked to last night. He's in Costa Rica. Obviously, we have a large group in Southeast Asia. Floppy and I are in the United States. We have people in Europe. So we got a really global community here, and we're behind you guys. Like, DeFi is a super super exciting project, and just hearing the stuff that you guys are talking tonight it's great info, great alpha that we can pass on to our community. And so, like, in that mindset, like, can you talk, Ben, like, what is the relationship between DeFi and like PathDAO like mean like to you guys? Like, we're stoked on what you're doing. Can you talk a little bit about just like what that relationship means?
Yeah, I think for us, we're really, I think we're really sort of like picky when it comes to working with guilds. And when we met you guys, there was just that instant connection there. And I think we definitely share the same vision of really bringing, a lot more people into the space. And talking to the investment team and now talking to you guys, I think like there's just that really good alignment in terms of the vision. So you guys are in it for the long haul. You're all about building the community, and that delivers a lot of value to us as well. So I think being able to reach out to the community of players that you guys have all over the world is super important. But also, hearing ideas and hearing feedback from you guys who are talking to so many different people within the space is super valuable to us as well. And so, yeah, I think we're all on board to deepen the relationship and to work more together. But as we get ready to launch it'd be great to see lots of PathDAO community members getting on board and playing the game.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we're gonna do. We right now we have a game of the week that we're featuring, and then we also have Guild Wars. So engagement wise, like yeah, we're gonna be steering our gamers to this. I know some of the community managers are listening tonight. It's tough, right? We're all in different time zones, so sometimes we have 100 people in the audience. Tonight we have roughly 30. Other times we've had like 200-300. But this is also being recorded, so our full community can hear. And just in our Discord, this is something we're going to be talking about a lot. And I love that Michael has been dropping stuff in the AMA chat. So anyone who's listening now or anyone who hears this recording, definitely go to the AMA chat and like see some of the stuff that they're dropping. Because DeFi is a really, it's not a cool project alone. It's a cool project with a lot of like unique aspects, and I'm not talking like one or two. Like, you guys are doing, you got some cool stuff going on for sure.
Really appreciate that, guys. Loved talking to you guys, and hopefully everyone on the call has found it valuable.
Before we leave, I know Floppy wants to ask about some alpha.
Yeah. Because is there any like one piece of alpha, related to Defy that you could drop for us? Something that maybe we don't know. I don't know, something secretive that isn't out yet.
Yeah, man. Little alpha. And Michael's going to kill me for saying this, so I'm glad he left the call. But one of the things
Perfect.
we're actually working on is the longer term vision of the game is that it will actually become multi-device. And what I mean by that is we'll have the location-based mobile game with a hyper-casual sort of learn-to-earn aspect. But we're also working on developing out like a AAA style desktop game as well, which is a companion. So linking the Defy metaverse beyond becoming a mobile game and actually being able to do things like drone battles and the elements of the PvP game on in a sort of AAA desktop game style as well. So that's a way off for us yet, but I don't think anyone else is doing that, and so that's one of the other things that we want to be first to launch as well.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we won't tell on you on Michael. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. Ben, before we let you go, March 26th, that's a key date. You want to just go over anything? Obviously, people are going to listen to the recording of this. Just kind of go over anything that the audience, it's important, DeFi timeline so that they know.
Yeah, definitely. So March 26th is the big one. Go and check it out at defydisrupt.io. Head over to our Discord as well. We're going to be launching the whitelist really soon. So for your community members, stay tuned. I'm sure we can cross-post it into your Discord as well. So opportunity to get onto the whitelist. Yeah, don't miss out on the opportunity to potentially get up to 100,000 Defy tokens linked to your NFT is huge. It's a lottery ticket. It's a luck of the draw, but that's a huge potential payoff and a lot of tokens linked to the NFTs in the meantime as well. So spread the word. Come and join our community and feel free to ask any questions in the meantime. But yeah, looking forward to a successful mint on March 26th.
All right. Love it.
Nice, guys.
Yeah, big shout out. Yeah, big shout out to DeFi fam for coming in tonight. Listen, we got to ask DJ Sam some questions next time, so I'm expecting him to stay in the chat for the whole AMA next time. Before we let's connect before you guys do the mint. I think it'd be cool to create something
definitely.
like leading up to your mint. And I know Floppy's busy right now trying to figure out about the mint and how he can get in, because he's going to be minting plus like playing, right? So that's a crazy thing. Everyone is listening right now. 10 to 100,000 DeFi, right? Like think about that.
Defy,
to 100,000, man. And these guys are doing some really, really cool, like unique stuff. So everyone definitely like check out their website. Like obviously we wrote a Medium article on them. Anyone's got any questions, don't hesitate to write in our Discord. Tag me, tag Floppy, tag any of the sages. We're happy to answer. But we're super stoked on this partnership, Ben, and like really appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the feeling's mutual. Really looking forward to speaking again soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ben. Cheers.
Awesome, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thanks. What do we say, Floppy? What do we say? We say, is it good morning, good night? What was Toad saying last night?
What was it? Good morning. I think good morning. I think that's what we say.
Yeah, it's night. Yeah, it's good morning. Yeah, it's night for us, but morning for everybody else. So cool. Thanks, Ben. Really appreciate you and your team joining us tonight.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.